Recording in progress.
Got it.
Yo,
Okay, so let's do it again. How are you?
I'm very
Don't you
I'm a
dare.
little I'm a little tiredy custard. Have you not?
Never heard that.
I think it's hang on, I just want to see you. I don't want to see me. Hi,
Hola. Tiredy custard.
custard. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but
I'm using it.
I don't think I'm the only person who says it.
It makes me think like oozy and
Yeah, tidy custard. I don't
yeah.
think the custard bit has any meaning. I think it's just meant to rhyme, although it kind of like a rhyming thing, but it doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't.
So it's more of
Somebody meant to rhyme and they fucked it
well,
up.
well, it's more of a like just a saying as opposed to I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of custard. So I don't want to mislead you and have you
Oh,
think that it's something to do with being maybe it is.
it's custard like.
Yeah. I say it, tidy custard. I don't think I made it up.
Okay.
I think other people say it too.
Never heard it. I love it. For our listener, if
For
you've heard it,
Tracy.
please put something in the comments below. Right here.
Tracy will be typing going,
Never heard. She lives in Madison. She
I don't know
can't.
what you're talking about. What are you talking about me? How are you?
Um, I'm
That
mixed.
face.
I'm this is like it is 5:30 a.m., so I had fish fry last night. Do you know what fish fry is?
No.
Okay,
Fried
so
fish?
obviously, and in Wisconsin, okay, I'm making a lot of this up, but my understanding is that
You're lying.
most
Yeah.
of Wisconsin is like the population here historically has been German, Polish, mostly Catholic. Okay, that's kind of
Right.
like mostly farmers, right?
Mm,
And again, not religious, so Catholics don't eat meat on Fridays
correct.
for certain parts of the year.
Oh, I didn't know that bit. Okay.
Okay, made that up, totally could be wrong. So at some point,
I'm a
somewhere,
Catholic. I
Catholic,
should know. I
okay, well then
don't know that.
you should know that they don't eat meat on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
And in Wisconsin, that's when we started what we just ate fish.
Hmm.
And then restaurants started calling them fish fries. And we have these places called supper clubs.
Oh, they
Supper
sound very
is,
fancy.
oh God, no. No, I cannot wait for you to come to Oshkosh someday. You're going to be like, what the fuck is this place? So, not fancy at all. But here's the deal,
Okay.
heavy, heavy alcohol drinking state. In fact, I think in the US, per capita, we have the most drinkers, the most
Alcohol. Okay,
abuse
right.
of drinking, most
Okay.
alcoholics, most drunk driving
Yeah.
accidents, and on and on. So
Mm,
we're very heavy into booze. And so supper clubs are a place where there's a huge bar,
mm,
enormous bar, and a teeny weeny little section where you can eat food.
mm,
So the point is, you come in, you get a drink, you socialize, you sit at the bar, you meet with your community, whatever,
mm,
and you have a number or some system. Every place is different, but there's a system where you
mm,
order your food and it's some fish fry. So depending on whether you want perch or whitefish or haddock or whatever, and you put your order in, and when your order is ready, they come to the bar and they get you, and they tell you you can go put your number on table, blah blah blah. So you
mm,
take your drink and your party, and you walk over to the table and you put your number down. Your food
mm,
comes out, and you eat,
mm.
and then you go back to the bar.
Is fry spelt Fry or is
It
it
is.
fish fry short for Friday?
No, it's fry,
It's
Fry for fried. Fried
fish
fish.
fry.
Yeah.
Ah.
You batter and fry those puppies. You sit at the bar, you drink a bunch of brandy old
Oh, what
fashions.
day do they do the puppy frying where you live?
The what frying?
Puppy frying. You said they fry those puppies.
Oh, yeah. They fry those. Yeah. Fish.
That's another day.
That's a
Yeah.
different. Puppy fry
Mm,
is on Thursdays. No, fish
mm,
fry. So I'm a little
So you
bit
did
like,
that.
I did a new place last night called, you're gonna laugh, Deb's Spare Time.
Oh,
So it's
like
a
it.
tiny little bar.
Yeah.
Um, very LGBTQ friendly,
Yeah.
and we'd never been there. And there's like maybe 6 tables. Otherwise, you sit at the bar and you eat at the bar. And that is what we did.
Nice.
It's really cute, but I'm a little swelled up from
What
the.
time did you go to bed?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm wondering why you're swollen. Is it from a late
Because of
night
like
or from
no, it's like
overeating
eating
fish?
fried fish. Like there's salt and stuff, and so my body's like bloop. It's just a
Oh,
little
I
bloaty.
don't think I have that level of sensitivity and awareness of my body that
Mm.
I would notice I was swollen after fish. I don't eat
It's
fish.
fried anything. Burger,
Hmm.
I would do that if I had a burger or pizza. There's just salt
You
and
fry a
carbs will
burger?
like.
Do you fry a burger?
No, you don't fry a burger, but there's things inside burgers that, like, if you eat a burger, there's just a lot of
Mm.
salt and grease.
Yeah, I'm not eating any of that.
Well, you don't have to brag.
So, so I'm missing out on this whole experience of life that you're having.
Yeah. So you come here next summer and you
I'm
swim in the
coming.
lake like a turtle, and then we'll go
I'm
and do all
coming.
the weird Wisconsin things.
Oh, I can't
Have a
wait.
brandy old fashioned, go to a fish fry.
What's a brandy old fashioned again? Remind me.
It's a great question. It's brandy. I think it's bitters, and then there's
Mm.
like a cherry and sugar, and they like mash it and add
Mm.
maybe like a 7 Up something.
Ooh,
I used to be a bartender, I don't remember. And I don't drink
sounds
anymore,
good.
so
And old fashioned. I think they have them in films.
they do. It's very fancy.
In
It
film.
is the drink of like it's the most common drink here,
Mm.
which is hilarious.
Fried fish
And a
and old
brandy old
fashioned
fashioned. Yeah,
and brandy old fashioned.
yeah.
Nice. I'm
Awesome.
looking forward to
So
it.
it's been a great podcast. I'll see you next week then.
Okay.
Ah, what do you want to do?
Oh,
Yeah.
feel. Ah. Okay. So today
Yes.
we are talking about fashion.
What the fuck?
I know. Well, in my offerings to you of things to talk about, there was a list of, kind of like grown up topics that
Yeah.
were, you
Yeah.
know, and then in between those texts, I was like, oh my God, and I'm really into fashion at the moment. Fashion, fashion. I was just being silly. And you were like, oh my God, let's talk about fashion
Yes.
because I have a relationship. What is your relationship to
Fashion.
fashion? And also, can you define, because I've been thinking about fashion,
Yeah.
because there's the word fashion, there's the word style,
Oh,
then there's just clothes. How are
yeah.
you defining fashion? Because I realize we might have different definitions.
Oh, we will. We always
Hmm.
do.
Okay.
How do I define fashion? So I never think about fashion. Okay, I rarely think about fashion.
Mm,
And I think the way I would define it would be like there's a certain way that I want to not use the word style. There's a certain way that you clothe yourself that like fits a category.
mm. Why aren't you
So
using the word style?
I don't know, because I'm trying to discern between the two of them, but I think I mash the two together. Fashion
Okay.
and style are the same thing to me. Fashion may be like the thing that we look at out there, like what is the fashion, what's the fashion scene, and the style is like how do I choose to put myself out into the world with
Yeah,
clothing, makeup, dangly earrings, gorgeous dark eye shadow,
not enough
lipstick.
today. Mm.
Yeah.
I would define them in the same way. I
Oh
think
my gosh, we
fashion is,
agree.
yeah, I think fashion to me is what is a la mode, what is the trend at the moment, what is
Hmm.
fashionable at the moment,
Right.
whatever they are. Arizona, Birkenstocks are really fashionable at the moment. Everybody's wearing them.
Yes. Like a
So
trend.
that's that's a trend.
Hmm.
That's fashionable at the moment. There's a lot of satin around at the moment. That seems to be really fashionable. But then there's also style. People have their own individual style, their own way of dressing that has not necessarily anything to do with fashion, what's in, what's out at the moment.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I probably was misusing the word when I was texting you. But
Mm.
that aside now, what is your relationship to that, to fashion and or style?
Let's see. My relationship to style is um, it's very disempowered.
Mm,
I feel like other people get it and I don't.
mm,
I feel like I fail, like I have a lot of failure wrapped up in style. There's a little bit of um, like I've chosen not to practice that because I wanted to be known or recognized for other things. Like for me, style had a lot to do with being girl. And because I spent a lot of my life trying not to be girl, not that I was being boy, but I just didn't want to be girl. I didn't want to be female.
mm,
I wanted to be strong and I wanted to be powerful and I wanted to be leader and I wanted to be athletic and fit, you know.
mhm,
So to me, those two worlds couldn't live together up into my early 40s. I think
mm,
that's when I quit my engineering job and started working in this world. That's when I started to really notice like I have completely shut down my whole entire feminine side. So I feel like style got really attached to my feminine side. And then I just was like, I don't do that.
mm,
So it's pretty not negative, but it's like I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen for my style, and I also don't want to like pick a style and fail. Does that
mm.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's all resonating, and I can relate to a lot of it.
Good.
I mean, it seems like I'm maybe making stuff up here, but you made some connection between how you wanted to be seen
Yes.
in your engineering role. So you were
Yes.
cutting off that feminine.
Yes.
I'm not trained as an engineer, but I have the same experience, which is really interesting, I think, about I don't feel feminine. I
Mm,
don't feel I have found some dresses that I feel comfortable in, but I don't tend to wear dresses. I would lean towards trousers.
yeah.
Um, and I have found some dresses that I feel comfortable in, but I don't wear pretty frilly things.
You know, as you say that, I think another relationship I have is I don't like people to look and admire my body, what is on my body. You know what I mean? Like, I remember being in high school and I had some of my girlfriends really liked to be noticed for their bodies, and they wore very tight fitted, low cut shirts, you know, short skirts and shorts, and they loved that kind of attention. And that kind of attention really turned me off. I hate that kind of attention. And when
Mm,
other people would give my friends that kind of attention, not only did it make me uncomfortable, but I wanted to protect my friends. Like, you don't
mm,
want people looking at you like that. It felt unsafe to me. Like
mm,
men looking at you like you're meat. Like to me, it was like scary. I don't like that.
mm. It's
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah, it is interesting because there are people who use that as a power, sexual
For
power.
sure.
I don't feel I must have sexual power, but
Oh,
I'm not using it. It's
me
shut
neither.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not using that side of myself.
Right.
Although I have been told I'm flirtatious. However, I feel I'm the same, that way of being, which is warm and friendly. I feel I am that way with
Yes.
everyone,
Agreed.
man, woman, and
Yeah.
child.
And
So
you're physically affectionate, you know, like,
it can be,
but
yeah.
not in a, I don't find it to be sexual. It's more of just like you're warm. You're like custard. You're like a just a beautiful, like soft and yummy and like I just want to sit on your lap. Can we make that
But
happen?
we
Okay, keep
can
going.
next time I see you. But there are two things you said. What you actually said, what I don't want to be, I don't want to be looked at for what I'm, you said something like admired for what I'm wearing on my body, but then there's also being admired for your body.
Right.
I don't want people to be paying attention to my clothes as opposed to me, which sounds really weird now I've said it out loud, but like I don't want the dress to be calling attention to itself. I want it to blend in
Yeah.
with my being,
Yeah.
is what I think I'm aiming for. So I feel my clothes, I want them to be part of me, like an aspect of me.
Yeah.
Um, and that way when I'm wearing them, I don't feel like I'm wearing them. I feel like it's just
It's
another
just
layer of meanness. Um, but I think the reason I'm just going to talk about this for a minute, but I think the reason I'm really interested in like I have spurts, I have kind of waves of getting really excited about clothes.
yep.
And you know, and sharing pictures with friends and kind of go, oh my God, look at this. I just bought this. Oh my God, look at this. This is amazing. This looks great with this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It has been and can be connected to how I'm feeling in my body. So if I'm feeling slimmer
Yes. Oh my
or
God, yes.
nicer in my body,
Yeah.
then I'll be like, oh yeah, I can, I feel I can experiment more with clothes
Yes.
because I have a different level of confidence or
Yeah.
comfort, feeling more comfortable. My ear's
Yeah.
itchy.
Yes.
Um, so I'm scratching, sorry. And but what I noticed the other day was I'm having this kind of like growing experience of being more and more and more comfortable. And technically, I'm chubby at the moment. So it's not the experience I'm having with clothes is not related to that thing I talked about a moment ago about feeling slimmer and more toned and more this or that and my body. The level of comfort that I'm feeling is coming from really, really deep inside myself. And it's then spilling out or touching, impacting all sorts of other areas. So I and then I had this conversation, I think the beginning of it with the other day. I found a skirt in my cupboard that had been there since before lockdown. I think I bought it 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I loved it. And I had a top that I bought that went with it. And I was like, but I was going to slim into it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't feel quite able to wear it right now. And I saw it in my cupboard and I was like, I'm going to try it on. The tags are still on it. The
Yeah.
label, the pricing, everything is still on it. And I tried it on and I had this feeling of I'm going to be a long time dead, which is an expression that I've heard growing up. I don't know if it's an Irish expression or an English expression, but I'm going to be
I've
a long,
never heard it, but it makes a lot of sense. It's a
yeah, going to be a
beautiful,
long time dead.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to be dead a lot longer than I will ever have lived. I'm going to be dead for millions and millions of years. And like, wow. So I could wear this dress today because there's going to be many, 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 many years when I won't be able to wear this dress because I
Right.
won't be here. So
Right.
I put this skirt on and yeah, my hips are round in it and because my hips are round, not because my hips are round in that skirt. My hips are round, you know, I
Yeah.
can put my hands on them and give
Yeah.
them a good squeeze. And I put this skirt on and I thought it feels gorgeous. It felt silky and lovely on my legs.
Hmm.
It's got like a little split in it,
Yes.
wrap over thing. I bought it because I thought it was so French and I really
Hmm.
loved it. And I was basically like, fuck it. I'm wearing it and I felt so good in it.
Love.
People noticed the skirt and they were like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you beautiful that skirt. Like a friend of mine at work was like, kind of went like that. And she was like, yeah, I've clocked it. I've seen the skirt. Like, oh my God, that's the skirt. And I'm like, oh, and someone else said to me, since you met the princess, you've really
Oh,
upped the game clothes wise.
fuck yeah. So
And
we
I'm
are going to
like,
thank,
well,
hopefully Kate is listening.
yeah, of course, Kate's listening, Kate and
Thanks. Thank
Tracy.
you, Kate. Kate and Tracy, yes.
Yeah. But that's kind of the thing that's really happening. I'm really enjoying clothes. I'm enjoying how I feel in my clothes. I'm enjoying looking at myself in my clothes.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
think there's like a thing that I'm hearing, and that is like, let me see if I can articulate it. It's when we start to fall in love with ourselves. This is going to sound like a bumper sticker, so bear with me, but like the more we start to feel in love with who we be in the world, at some point, I can imagine that that then becomes like physical as well. Like, not only do I love who I be, but I love this body that I've been given.
Mm, mm,
And it no longer matters if I have varicose veins or if I have rounded hips
mm,
or if I have saggy things, right? It's like my body still actually feels really good.
mm,
And then when
mm,
you put on a skirt, it doesn't matter.
mm,
Like I could put on a paper sack and it
mm,
would be like
mm.
I feel great about this paper sack. And people
Yeah,
be like, that is the most beautiful paper sack I've ever seen. And you're like, yeah, I
yeah,
know. But
yeah.
it's not about the skirt. It's not about any of
No,
that.
no. And it's not about those things. And they are adding something. It's
Yes.
like the cherry on the top that
Yes.
finishes off the dessert, or
Yeah,
that
yeah.
little, whatever it is, that sprinkling of something. It's not that the clothes are irrelevant.
Right.
They are so it's not that they are part of the experience. But yes, it is very much, I'm having this experience. I was sitting on the sofa and I was looking at my legs and I was like, I love my legs. I've
Awesome.
never said that. I've never thought that.
Hmm.
And the way they feel, and I'm touching them, like, my God, they feel amazing. I really love my legs. And they're just these chubby little middle-aged ladies' legs. They're not,
They're
they're not,
great legs.
they're not
They
you
carry
know,
you places. They
exactly.
go
But
up
they're
and down
not catwalk
stairs.
legs. They're not that sort of,
Nah.
it's not
Yeah.
that thing. It's
No.
this other experience,
Yeah.
which is just really, really enjoyable. I'm interested though I'm interested in all of that because it feels like a reflection, an extension of
Yeah.
a symptom of the internal experience.
Agreed.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Um, and it's really, really pleasurable. It's a
Hmm.
very, very pleasurable experience. Go.
Does it take getting into our 40s and 50s to get there?
I think it takes, um, I mean, yeah, okay, that will be part of it. There will be a bit of a, um, I give less of a fuck.
The fucking 50s.
Yeah,
I'm
there'll
going to
be
be 50
that.
this year and I can hardly wait.
When are you 50?
October 1. Are you
Oh,
writing it down so you can send me a
I
gift?
am.
You can send
That's
me a
neat.
skirt. Send me a
That's
dress.
well, I
I
did ask
own
you to
no
get me some
dresses.
trousers from Target and you
I never did.
failed.
What a dick.
You totally failed. Okay, oh, that's good. That's a very neat date
It's
for your
very
birthday.
clean. Yes.
Clean,
Yeah.
tidy, no
Easy
extra
to
numerals.
remember. Yep.
I like it. Um, Sorry, I'm distracted by a smudge on the pale grey wall. It looks like somebody's killed an animal, a moth maybe. There's a
Do you need to
smudge
go
on the
take
wall.
care of that? Do we need
No,
to pause the podcast? We
so I
can
can
do
wipe the
that.
wall. No, I'll control it. I'll do it later. I'll do it
This is
later.
you
I'm like,
expanding to be with more discomfort.
I can be with more
This is
moth
leadership
smudges
right
or
now.
whatever
Yep.
that is. Um, so there is that, maybe an element of that. But I actually think what it's taken is it's all of the work. It's
Yeah.
being in the group that we're in. It's being in that environment where you're looking at being at
Yes.
cause, being at effect. I'm no longer at the effect of my middle-aged chubby legs. I'm at cause for the experience I'm having of these beautiful legs, which I'm touching now and feel like silk, you know. So I feel actually it's more that because
Yeah.
I know people who are my age, shape, size, and they're not necessarily having the same experience.
Hmm.
But I want to go back to what you said, which is that thing of not wanting to be more boy than girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said that was earlier, but you did say it went up until your 40s.
Yeah.
That's sort of like I don't know if it's suppressing, but that experience of shutting down that side of self,
Yeah.
however it's expressed. I feel, do I feel more feminine? Maybe I feel a little bit more feminine, but in quite a Darth Vader. I like black, like a, that I don't know. Maybe there are different ways of expressing femininity.
Agreed.
I'm just talking now. You can pause me at any point because there's just stuff coming out of my mouth. I don't know what I'm saying really,
Do you need to take a breath?
but maybe. But there's that. I'm really interested
Yeah.
in that bit of kind of like dressing in order to manage something,
Yeah.
dressing in order to control or manage the amount of femininity, the amount of
Yes.
vulnerability,
Yes.
dressing to protect.
Yeah.
Um, I'm interested in that. And I'm also interested in what you said before this podcast a couple of days ago
Mm.
about you put dresses on and you feel like you're wearing
Like a
someone else's
man
clothes. Yeah, you feel like a man.
putting on a dress. Yeah.
Over to you,
We're gonna
Allison.
we're gonna run that experiment, by the way, because I've had friends be like, no, no, let's try on dresses, and then we try on dresses, and they're like, oh no, no, you should not wear
Mm.
dresses. So,
Yeah, I find that weird. I imagine you would look beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, I don't look terrible. I'm a little over dramatic sometimes for effect, but um, I met a woman named Flora a few years ago. She was part of the Rich Lipton community, and her entire practice was helping you to figure out like what what is the actual expression of you in like clothing, right? And so she worked with you to like figure out what even is your color, like what is your color palette, and she had it um separated into seasons, right? Are you winter,
Mm-hmm.
spring, summer? Like that's not earth-shattering.
Mm,
People do that all the time.
mm,
And then she did shape. Like your shape of your body is actually like that is the shape that is the strongest, the one you want to be expressing into the world. And mine was like straight up and down. And you've seen me, so
mm,
I'm pretty much like straight up and down. There's not a lot of
mm.
curves. Um, and then it was material where she separated those into like earth, fire,
Water, air.
water, and air. And so she would have these fabrics and you would have bare shoulders and you just put yourself in the fabric. And some of the fabrics literally I had a reaction to them. I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. Right? This one's
Mm,
too heavy. This one's too crisp. And then like I would put on a fabric and I'd be like, yeah, that's good. And so it
mm,
was really interesting because everybody was different. The person next to me was having a totally different experience.
mm,
And I really loved that approach because what she said is like, what you put on your body, you put on and wear all day long. Why would you not put
mm,
something that is the fullest expression of who you are?
mm,
And I was like, what? Right? Like, I don't know. I just like the things go on the bottom, the thing goes on the top, and I leave the house. And it's been really fun since I worked with her. I now know my color scheme, and here's the way that they pick the color scheme is you put the color across your shoulders and then look in the mirror and have other people in the room. And
mm,
if they see your face, that's the right color. If
mm,
they see the color, that's not the right color because what you
mm,
want is the color that brings you out. And it was weird, like
mm,
watching her do it with all of these people. I was like, yes, yes, no, right? No,
mm,
no, no, yes, yes. You could see there were colors
mm,
for certain people that I noticed their beautiful face, and there were colors that all I noticed was the color. So that was
mm,
fascinating to me. Anyways,
mm,
all of that fast forward. I think that was the first time somebody kind of said to me, wear something that feels like you. And I was like, well, I don't know what that is. And so then I had a guidance, right? I knew my color, I knew my shape, and I knew my, at least the texture.
Yeah.
And when I started playing with that, I was like, oh, this, this I like, and then I would
Mm,
feel like, yeah, this is me, right?
mm.
So, anyways, that's all to say, I don't know, what is my point?
I
I,
don't know.
okay, good. Help me
I
land the
don't
plane,
know.
Mia.
I don't know, but we were looking at your experience of dressing and feeling like a man where you when you wear a dress,
Yeah.
and you were kind of like, I don't know where you were going, but you were really just sort of like tracking part of your
Yep.
journey of kind of
So,
like exploring, experimenting.
yeah, so it's more not whether I wear dress or pants
Mm,
or whatever. It's what do I wear that is the fullest expression? So I imagine there
mm,
is a dress that fits my
mm,
essence, that when I
mm,
put it on, it brings me out.
mm-hmm,
I have not yet
mm,
found that dress.
mm,
I hope to someday be able to find that.
mm,
Although, like I said, I don't like my thighs touching, so I'll probably have to wear
mm,
shorts with it. And then it's like, what's the point of the dress?
mm,
But I digress. So,
mm,
yeah, mostly, I still haven't fully appreciated. Let me take that back. I don't like to showcase my feminine attributes. I don't like to wear shirts that show cleavage. I don't like to wear short shorts or short skirts. I don't like to wear things that show my midriff. Um, I don't like clothes that are really tight fitting. I can do a tighter top if I wear like a baggier bottom, or I can do a
mm,
baggier bottom if I can wear a loose fitting shirt, but I would never probably put those two together. It's tight top and tight bottom. Mostly because I don't, for some reason, it doesn't feel safe to me to showcase my body in that way.
mm.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
It makes complete sense.
Okay.
I completely get that. I'm quite Victorian
Oh,
in
yes.
my way of, I'll have everything buttoned right up. This is
What is happening?
really
Take it easy. Take it easy. This is family.
slutty for
It's
me.
family.
And when I'm at work, that will be done up,
Button that
because
up,
I don't
girl.
want to subject anyone to my feminine attributes either
Right.
in the workspace. But the thing that that's coming into my head when you're speaking is, I've just remembered that another reason why I wouldn't necessarily wear dresses and I wouldn't wear shorter dresses is that I felt vulnerable. So I would wear big pants, and I am wearing enormous pants underneath this dress now. And this dress comes to my knee. It's a little bit longer at the back, but I've definitely had the experience previously of feeling vulnerable. And now
Yeah.
at this, I in my head, I have historically, and even now, I can see that it would be easy to put two and two together and come up with 75 here with what I'm saying.
Yes.
So I'm not personally adding any significance to this, but I know that I'm having a very different experience now, Ali, to the one I have had previously.
Yeah.
Previously, I felt vulnerable in a dress. The dress needed to be long,
Yeah.
um, and needed to wear big pants. There was something about protecting myself.
Hmm.
Now, I don't think it was necessarily that I was, abused as a child,
Right.
or that I had some awful incident. I mean, if I did have it, I have no recollection of it at
Okay.
all. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hallelujah.
That's not
If
what
it
it is.
happened, I don't remember it. But I don't think it's that.
Mm.
I think something has changed inside me.
Yeah.
And yes, it's been helped with coaching, being in the forge, being supported, being part of a community where we're looking at cause and effect, and and
Yes.
where and what stance we're taking. Where are you coming from?
Yeah.
um you know all of these pieces,
Yeah.
and age and development and blah, all of that will have contributed. But I also know that I used to have to really protect myself in bed. So I would pull the duvet right around myself, tuck it right in behind myself. So there was something about
Mm.
people being, not people, there's nobody in my bedroom, but something about vulnerability from behind, like
Yeah, I have that.
something I can't see. Again, doesn't have to be sexual. There doesn't need to be any sexual connotation to this or any actual incident of being violated or anything like that. But the experience I had was I needed to protect myself. I
Hmm.
needed the bit that I couldn't see. I can see the front, I can see you coming at me, I can protect myself, but the bit that I couldn't see had to be protected. And that isn't there anymore. When I'm in
Oh,
bed, I'm sprawling. I have no consciousness of no, I don't put any awareness to protecting behind myself where I can't see. Um, I'm still wearing big pants under dresses of
yeah,
any length,
yeah,
but the whole experience is different. The need to protect myself and this concept of safety, which you mentioned at the beginning of the
yeah.
conversation, is not part of what's happening for me. It's not part of the experience.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that is what's contributing to this feeling of joy and ease. I mean, it's all wrapped up in one thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if we will go to the point of me doing podcasts, you know, in my underwear because I'm so relaxed.
It is called Unhooked.
Yeah. So maybe that's where we end up. But definitely the experience I'm having of fashion style clothing is very, very different. And the experience, as I've just said now, even of sleeping, the way I'm moving in my body is different. So,
Mm.
what do you want to say?
Yes. I love that. Like, okay, she said a thing. Now, what do we do? So,
Yeah.
uh, it's interesting and fascinating how the work that we do, like, how do you even describe the work that we do, right? I don't know. It feels like I'm able to start to look at these deep, deep parts of myself that have remained hidden and locked away for good reason. And I'm starting to like open them up, shine a light, really accepting these parts of myself, kind of bringing them out like a feral dog, I say all the time, like, coaxing it out. Takes a while. You got to use a little bit of food here and there and be nice and patient. And what I'm hearing you say is that the result of that is that your experience of not just your body, but your experience of your security in the world has changed.
Mm,
You don't feel as vulnerable as you did
no,
back then.
no.
That's fascinating because it's not because
It
you're taking Taekwondo.
no, and it's also this was not the focus of the work.
Right.
This wasn't what I have been working on. I haven't been working on um feeling more comfortable in bed or feeling more comfortable in my clothing
Yes.
or even feeling more comfortable full stop anywhere particularly. I don't remember those words. Those haven't been written down as my coaching requests um,
Yes.
at all. um, I focused on business things, relationships, whatever. But
Yeah.
this feels like a happy symptom, a happy side
Side
effect.
effect. Yeah.
And it feels like, so yeah, we've started the conversation talking about fashion because I'm kind of like, oh my God, I'm so into my clothes at the moment, but it is the way something feels.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a sensual experience, it's an
Yes.
embodied experience,
There it is. Yep.
of I really love the way um wear big pants and a vest to bed. And I love the way my body feels when I get into the bed and the
Mm-hmm.
feeling of the sheets. It's very sensory,
Yeah.
the experience of that skirt that I showed you yesterday, that little wraparound skirt,
Yeah.
the feeling of that as it slides over my legs. So I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my clothes. I'm enjoying, and I'm enjoying I remember when we first did the forge and we had to do our videos about our essences, and I had no clue what that was. And I said, beauty is one of my essences because I see beauty everywhere. I'm get very excited by things that I personally
Yes.
find beautiful.
Yes.
And I'm having that experience of looking at the clothes that I'm wearing, looking at myself in the clothes. I have no clue how this is coming across to you when I'm saying this, but the experience is one of me drinking in this beautiful experience.
So the true test for essence, in my opinion, is if you bring beauty as an essence into the world, everything around you becomes more beautiful. And that's true. You're literally experiencing it right now. Your clothes have not changed. That skirt didn't change over the course of the 4 years. Nothing happened to it.
No, it's been in the cupboard just sitting there passively.
Right. You
Yeah.
have started to surrender maybe a bit, allow more
Mm,
of the beauty that you be
mm,
into the world. And as a result, you're actually having more experience, a more embodied experience of beauty
mm,
regardless. Like
mm,
now when you put on clothes, it's not just like this is my top and my bottom and off I go. You're like, wow,
mm,
this feels really good. When I get into
mm,
bed, I love the way that like
mm,
sheets feel and my
mm.
pantaloons or whatever. I don't know what large pants means, but to me they're like
Oh,
a weird.
knickers,
That's
knickers,
that's the idea I've got in my head. Like there's
knickers.
there's like a cuff and like an elastic band and it's real
Oh no,
frilly.
it's then no, no, no.
Don't ruin this for me. Don't ruin this. And like little like lace across the bottom, the little frills like
No,
little
I did
girls
have
wear.
those as a child. I
Ah!
had them as a child. They were
Yeah,
so
so that's how I
gorgeous.
see you sleeping in
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
knickers.
In knickers, yeah, no, these are quite utilitarian,
Yeah,
just very, yeah, very
don't ruin
plain.
it.
If if
I'm
we
with,
if we weren't sharing this, I would just stand up and show you my knickers,
don't
but
you
I
do
won't
it.
do that
No,
now.
no,
I
I don't
won't
want
do
to
it.
see it.
No.
I've got it
Yeah,
all
you
built
want
up.
to have that image in your mind. Mm,
So what I wrote down as you were talking is like how many times do we discover that like the thing we're trying to do actually creates the opposite thing. So when we feel vulnerable, we protect,
mm,
right?
mm,
And when we protect, we actually create vulnerability. So until we're
mm,
able to expose and be with who we are or the hidden parts of ourselves, we have
mm,
to like pull our covers over our shoulder. We don't like it when people stand behind us. We
mm,
don't show our body parts. We
mm.
wear whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
We
the
hide.
process of
Mm,
you starting to expose more of like
mm,
beauty, whatever, essences, like
mm,
when you start to bring those out, how now like there isn't a need to protect, which is super ironic
mm,
because just exposing yourself you're literally exposing yourself to more of everything, including danger, including risk, including hurt,
mm,
perception and judgment. You would
mm.
think that would be like you have to protect twice as much, and you're saying that's absolutely not true. In fact, it's the other way.
Yeah, I had a conversation this morning which I feel illustrates that. Somebody
Mm,
was talking about someone they work with and how this person is all heart, like they're just
mm,
all
hmm.
heart, and from that place, because they are over expressing their heart, they don't want to hurt people in the work environment, so they don't communicate
Yes.
what needs to be
And
communicated.
then what
And then
happens?
the irony is they end up hurting people because the stuff
Everybody.
that needed to be communicated hasn't been communicated because this
Yes.
person is all heart and they're like, God, I can't hurt you, so I'm just not going to say it.
Yeah.
And that creates hurt. So
Yes.
that for me really illustrates that irony in
Yeah.
in what you just said. Yeah, and it's so, what I find really interesting is, we're talking about fashion, and I'm just obsessed at the moment with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes.
I think she's the same age as me or near as, and I'm going to a wedding this evening, and I want to do, big, dark, black coal, Sarah Jessica Parker. I've been practicing for days. I've been walking around.
Yes.
You've seen me. I've been
I've
walking
seen
around
you. I'm super
heavily
impressed.
made up at
Yeah.
10 in the morning, with all this eye coal on. Um, and just really, enjoying
Yeah.
it and enjoying. And I bought these beautiful shoes,
Just show
which
us.
are okay.
If anybody
Okay,
watches the
they're
YouTube.
just here because I have to have them
Oh
near
my
me all the
God, they're
time.
right there.
But they're
I
just
It
beautiful,
hurts
and
my feet. How do you
they're
even?
they're the color of my skin, so I just love the oneness
Oh,
of them. They're
yeah.
beautiful.
They are
So
beautiful.
they are beautiful, and I'm really enjoying, like, it's like play and it's
Yeah.
fun, and it wasn't when I ordered 10 dresses and they all arrived and they all looked appalling and I was like, oh my God, I messaged the bride and said I'm gonna have to come in a skirt and my bra because I can't find anything, and like, it's fine, come like that, it'll be fine. um so there's the actual thing of enjoying fashion and style and clothes
Yeah.
and earrings and makeup, and just it's all so beautiful and rich and delicious. There's that.
Yeah.
And there's the experience or the understanding that the experience I'm having, on our plans, when we're doing our plans in the forge, or when we're planning with
Yeah.
our clients, and we're kind of like, so what is the experience you really want to be having? And I think I've often had a very intellectual understanding of that. So I'm trying to work out what the experience is that I'd like to be having.
Yeah.
And I now realize I'm having the experience. I'm in the experience.
Yeah.
This is how I want to experience life, which is this joy, this
Hmm.
joyous experience of that fabric on my leg, the feel of my leg. I said
Yeah.
to my friend today when we went swimming, I pulled my coat back. I said, feel my leg. She was
You
like,
got to be
okay.
careful where you do. Don't get
Yeah,
arrested. We have to do a
no, I'm
podcast
doing
next
that. I'm
Saturday.
like, just feel that. Like, there's just the sensation of touch. I did it in the office. I made someone put
Oh.
their hand down my trousers.
Oh, that's
Um,
you have. Yep.
I
Careful.
know,
Be so
I know.
careful.
She's a really good friend of mine. So she was like, okay, yeah. Just like, oh my God, yeah. But just a whole sensual
Yeah.
experience of being and
Yeah.
enjoying um everything. That's
Like
kind of what.
there's the superficial.
Mm,
It's fun to look at clothes. It's neat to do makeup. Like I can buy the
mm,
thing. It's exciting. It's like
mm.
that's the
Play.
superficial. It's play, but
Mm,
then there's the word that is coming up for me is really like a fully embodied experience of style, fashion, beauty. Like
mm,
there is beauty and then there is like the expression and the embodiment of beauty,
mm, mm.
which is when you run around the world and tell people to touch your legs.
Touch my leg. Touch my leg, which is funny because and I don't think it has anything to do with what the person outside is experiencing, because they're just going to see
Right.
a chubby middle-aged lady in a dress.
But they
Uh,
don't. They
well, maybe
see
they do.
they see beauty, which is
Yes,
what you said in the
maybe.
beginning. People are starting to remark,
Yes.
look at that. And it's not because the skirt has changed over 4 years. Like nothing fucking happened to the skirt. It's been the same
No.
goddamn skirt for 4 years.
Mm,
But the way you show up in it,
mm,
that's what's changed.
mm.
And people notice. So it's good
Yes.
feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You guess.
So, yeah, no, I'm just thinking, my mind is saying, but I didn't wear the skirt, so that story is
Have
illogical,
you worn skirts in
Allison.
the last 4 years?
No, I don't wear skirts.
Okay.
So now I am wearing skirts. I have two skirts, and one is satin, and it just feels like water on my legs, and it's just heavenly, heavenly.
Yeah. And when you
Um,
walk in a skirt and it feels all those ways, I would never want
mm,
to take it off. And
no,
you walk in a way where you're like, you be heavenly, you be
yeah,
beautiful. It
yeah,
just
yeah,
like you
because you're
can't help it.
enjoying yourself. Yeah, you're just
Yes.
enjoying yourself
Yeah.
in your own private experience.
Yes. And
And
it doesn't
because we know
matter.
everything, yeah, no, none of the other stuff matters.
Yeah.
None of it matters whether this person agrees that this is a good skirt or looks good on me, or do my hips look big in this? Yes, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's
Those are your
fine because
hips.
those are my hips. Those are the hips I have
Yep.
right now.
They are what they
Um,
are.
yeah. So we're talking about fashion. We've started talking about fashion. You keep looking at the time. Do we need to wind up?
I just I have a thing about time and I hate that I look at it so much. So I'm really
Okay.
sorry that you noticed that.
No, that's
I
fine. I
am,
just wondered if you had somewhere to go.
I just am always mentally keeping track. My fear is that if we go on too long, people will be like, they'll
Shut
leave
up. Let
or they
them
won't
leave.
listen. Yeah, like fuck off, Allison. God. I should put a little sticky note right across my thing. I'm
Let those
sorry.
babies leave.
Let them, if
If
they can't,
Tracy wants to leave,
I think my
and
heart would
I
break a
know,
little bit.
I know Kate won't leave because she's very interested in fashion.
She is. She's
Hmm.
gorge.
Totally gorgeous. So, is there anything else you want to say about
Mm.
that about all of this stuff?
Well, I have a really good question that I think will wrap it all up.
Go.
Okay. So, somebody listening, like if somebody were to say, I want what you have, Mia. I want to put on
Mm,
clothes. I want to touch my leg. I want to love my big hips. How do I do it?
mm.
How do you answer that question?
I think I'd want to reframe the question actually, in a way, because um, at the how bit, I've got a bit of a problem with the how. I've been listening to Jamie Smart,
How do I know that
Clarity,
name? What does he do?
Clarity. He wrote Clarity. He used to do NLP, and
Yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
written a book called
Yes.
Clarity.
Yep.
Um, and so he is talking a lot about, the 5 steps to the 10 steps to.
Yeah.
So how do I have the thing
Yes.
you have?
Right.
And so the word how is kind of like banging on my head
Good.
and making
I
me
want it
think,
to
oh, okay, that was deliberate.
because my
Mm,
expectation was that you were going to answer in a way that nobody, like everyone's like, well, here's the 5 steps, and you're going to like go in a totally different direction. Because
mm.
what that question is asking is like, how did you do it? And you're going to
Ah,
be like, I didn't mean to.
yeah, yeah, no, I didn't mean to. No, I didn't mean to. So I think my what happened, which
Yeah.
wasn't a how, this
Good.
wasn't where I intended to get to, um, was the exploration. I have been exploring my thinking. I have been deconstructing, I've been examining
Yeah.
and deconstructing my thinking
Yeah.
and keeping the bits that serve me and dismantling and recreating the bits that don't serve me. That's what I've been doing. My thinking, I'm going to mix the metaphors up now, but my thinking, some of my thinking has been an invisible brick wall in front of me, which I keep banging my head on and have not been able to get past. And I don't understand because I can't see it, because it's invisible, because
Yes.
it's my thinking.
Yeah.
And over the last 3 years in the Forge, the 2 years before that, when I was studying coaching, and probably my entire life's journey, but I definitely can see over the last 2 or 3 years, as I work daily
Yes.
to examine my thinking, I'm able to, I don't take my thinking so seriously. I'm able to deconstruct and move away pieces that um, that just don't work for me.
Hmm.
And a byproduct of that, it's all been, initially it was all about, I want increased wealth
Yes.
these, I want to these things, the markers of success in my
Yes.
life. And
Yes.
actually, I'm now kind of like far less interested, although I have more of those markers of success.
Yeah.
Actually, they are of far less interest to me. What I'm interested in is that piece of the planning process, which is, what is the experience you want to have? Which was never the place I was really interested in looking.
Right.
I was like, no, I want the clients with this price tag attached, and I want this car, and I want this thing, and
Yeah.
you know, but the experience is the thing that is this byproduct of doing this work. I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for.
Well, it's your answer.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. I think my answer is the more I love and accept myself, which again sounds super simple. That's all you have to do. Just love and accept yourself. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Al
Crack on.
dash Allison Garner. There's your quote
Mm,
for the
mm,
fucking year. And how hard and confronting and anxiety provoking and heart shattering that work actually is.
mm,
There are times when I am completely crushed with
mm,
who I am, what I've done, the impact I've had. And the only way for me to begin to love and accept myself is to look at those parts of myself. The
mm,
happy byproduct of that work is not only do I love Allison, human, soul, spirit, whatever, I love all of her. I love her head, I love her heart, I love her body. But I now show up in the world in a way where I can be love,
mm,
which is is given to me as well as everything human, animal in my environment, right? So,
mm,
um, and it would make sense then that like I love myself and I will put on clothing that feels good on my body, and
mm,
people will see me as like it has been, people will remark to me, you look
mm,
really great. You look really light. You
mm.
look
Yeah,
really
you look
strong.
radiant.
You look
Mm,
radiant, right? There will be these
mm,
comments from the outside world. Not that I need that, but it is like, it
mm,
is validating because it's like, I do feel great. I do feel light.
mm,
I do feel young. I do
mm,
feel strong.
mm.
So that's how I would answer it.
Yeah, and I think if I'm going to look at a how piece, I think what has been really useful, instrumental,
Yeah.
has been being in an environment which has been our community of, participants,
Yes.
being in an environment where I'm reminded reminded to look at my thinking, reminded what part is your thinking playing in
Yeah.
this experience that you're having.
Yeah. And the
I'm
pod,
not necessarily challenged in that way. My thinking isn't necessarily challenged out there in the world. My
right.
son's now challenged my thinking because it's become more part of the way we speak and operate and look
Yeah.
what we're looking at. But I think that is a key piece. If someone really did want a how to, it would be get yourself into an environment where your thinking is being examined, challenged, looked at.
And done in a way in which you can look at those parts of yourself. Because yesterday, Adam and I were talking about the Forge. I was on
Mm,
his podcast and
mm,
I was sharing with him my experiences in other coaching communities and how he's like, what makes the Forge different? And I said, it
mm,
is the container.
mm,
Those other programs did not create a container where it felt safe. So what was happening is I was being challenged all the time, but it felt like I was being knifed over and over again. And I
mhm,
was like crumbling under the weight of all of it. I wasn't feeling held. I wasn't feeling supported. And I didn't feel
mm,
as though the people that were giving me these challenges genuinely loved and cared for my well being and my
mm,
growth.
mm,
Whereas in the Forge, the container is set up in such a way
mm.
that it is still confronting. I mean, I
Oh
will never
yeah.
like it. There are times when I am really like smack dab getting
Mm,
like hit in the face, and can, I am able to still look at these parts of myself because of the stand that we are for each other inside
mm,
that community. So
mm.
that's my caveat. Find a community like that.
Yeah. And
Mm.
no,
One
we're
and
doing
wrap it up in a
one
blueberry
more.
pancake.
Okay. Well, one more is just that I know I'm creating that in my working relationships with clients, and I know you're
Yes.
creating those
Yes.
smaller containers
Yeah.
of that
Yeah.
relationship with a
Absolutely.
client. So I was talking about this 2 weeks ago, you know, um, that the strength of the container with that client, the rapport, the place that we're coming from,
Yeah.
enables challenge to take place in those relationships, in those professional relationships, in a
Yeah.
way that they are more palatable, the challenges are more palatable, and it can be looked at and tasted and tried
Yeah.
out, as
Yeah.
opposed to rejected and spat out.
Yes. Yeah. For sure. There are times when my coach will reflect something to me and I will just start crying
Mm,
because it really hurts. It hurts to hear it. It
mm,
hurts to see that in myself.
mm,
And
mm,
when I can get through that, then I can get to the other side, which is
mm,
true acceptance, I believe.
mm.
But if I keep resisting the thing, then I can't get past it. And then
No,
it'll just keep. So
yeah,
yeah, I love it. All right,
invisible
so we're
wall
saying hire us and join the Forge. That's how you
of
get to like go around the world and
mm,
ask people
mm,
to touch you in
touch
places.
my leg. So, what is your takeaway?
Oh, good. Okay. Mm. My takeaway in this very moment is how much I love my strong ass body because I'm really testing it. I'm training really hard right now for our trip to Nepal, and it is just such a champ. Like it fucking gets up every day. It is giving me what I need. It carries this heavy bag. It takes it. My poor feet are just being destroyed. And then the next day I get up and they're like, okay, let's do it again. And I'm really loving the strength and endurance in my body right
Mm,
now, which has nothing to do
mm.
with fashion. But when I wear my
When
style,
you wear fashion.
I believe I come off as strong and
Mm,
powerful in whatever it is I'm wearing.
mm,
How about you?
nice. My takeaway is that my enjoyment of fashion,
Yeah.
clothes, beautiful accessories, playing with makeup is all coming from inside me. Yeah,
Mic drop.
boom.
So good. I love
Mm,
you.
I love you too. And I love Tracy.
Yes, and
Thanks
Kate.
for listening. And thank you, Princess Kate, for listening to our
Super.
podcast
Yeah. All right.
about
Have a great
fashion.
rest of whatever day it is when you listen.
Okay, bye.
Later.